Good evening, Des Moines. Welcome to the Doc N Lefty program here on webcast1live.com, coming to you from the always pleasant, nicely warmed, especially on this throwback cold Tuesday on the Skywalk here in downtown Des Moines. This is Lefty coming to you with my partner in crime. He makes John Wayne look like John Voight. Pat Petrosh. Doc, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty well. That was a good introduction.
Hey,
How
thanks,
long
man.
Did you work on that the entire weekend?
No, I was working on that for about 5 minutes, and the only goofy John that I could come up with was John Voight. No offense,
yeah.
John. You're a dear friend, and you know that I love you.
Oh, yeah,
he has no idea who I am.
Yeah, he does.
And he's not a listener yet.
But I do want to point out Lefty's intro is what's wrong typically with liberals, and that is the day is 45, 50 degrees, but yet he's sitting there going like, man, it's still not good enough, still not hot enough. That's the problem with progressivism and liberalism.
What?
And speaking of what's wrong with progressivism and liberalism, we have a special guest in our studios.
Where's that?
Don't I get a POW for that, Ryan?
Wow.
I should get a POW for that one. We
Wow.
have a special guest in our studios, Joe Grandanette.
We don't hand out pals like chiclet stuff.
Joe is famous here locally in Des Moines. Not infamous. He is famous here in Des Moines. He's been a jack of all trades, a teacher for
26 years.
26 years. Coached baseball up in Urbandale.
Basketball.
Whatever it is, he coached something.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'll get my Lefty's better at this. He spent more time on this introduction than I did, sounds like, and I worked on it all day. Anyway, Joe, I want to welcome Joe Grandanette. He is the only one that declared against Tom Latham when Latham went along and voted with the Democrats on what, Joe?
Oh, on the budget.
On the budget.
And the debt ceiling.
That's right. He voted the wrong way.
Absolutely.
You can't call yourself a conservative and vote that way.
Well, we should probably tell everybody what Joe's doing. Joe's running the third judicial.
Right.
I said judicial. He's running the 3rd congressional district here, which encompasses Des Moines, southern Iowa, in the central part of the area. And he's running the primary against super friend of the show, and we only call him that, Joe. We only call him that because he's been on a whole bunch, and I'm sure that you're going to be on a whole bunch, and we'll call you super duper friend of the show, Joe Grandanette, here in a couple of
super duper friend.
Oh, hey, we got levels. We've got levels to this thing.
I'm honored.
Running
when
against
you get to the duper level, man, you gotta run. You're in your own chair.
Well, when you get to the
happy day. Oh, happy day.
when you get to the duper levels, when we start calling you asking for money, so that's why there are too many of those people in that kind of rarefied air. But he's running in the 3rd congressional district primary. The primary season has kind of started. I think everybody is now declared, but I don't think that the table has completely rounded itself out yet. But among other candidates, we've got super friend of the show, Brad Zahn, Secretary of State, who's probably going to be former Secretary of State. I don't think he's going to keep his job.
No, in fact, they have Paul Pate who's going to be running.
Okay,
he used to be the Secretary of State a while ago.
Matt Schultz is running. A couple other candidates who I can't remember, but I knew that you were running because I knew that you were friends with him. And yours was the name who stood out to a pinko commie like myself. So Joe's running in the
pinko commie. That's what he is.
Pinko commie.
Hey, I'm a throwback too.
He believes in collectivism. He actually used that the last time, and I'm like, what?
But Joe's running the 3rd congressional district in the primary so far, and is looking for some support and wanted to come on to get the Doc and Lefty bump, not to be confused by the Colbert bump, which is just the same, only ours is a little bumpier.
Yes, ours is lumpy.
What did I get myself into?
So Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself, about your history here in Des Moines, how long you lived here, what you've been doing these last few years.
Yeah, thanks a lot for letting me be on the show here.
Thanks
for coming. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with two fine gentlemen here. I'm born and raised here in Des Moines, Iowa. Grew up. I've been an elementary PE teacher for 26 years. I'm a graduate of Dowling High School, one of those all boys when men were men, and went to Grandview Junior College and graduate of Drake University. And I've done a lot with my life. I had my store for 14 years. I had a sports nutrition store for 14 years. I closed it down last July. The owners raised the rent on me $1,000, so I decided to call it quits. Yeah.
Ouch.
So, and I've also coached in town. I was a sophomore basketball coach at East High, a freshman baseball coach at Urbandale. I coached in the Summer Baseball League for 25 years or more. I refereed and umpired for over 25 years. I've done a lot with my life to put myself in position to win this election.
So basically what you're telling me is that you have hit every particular sector of the Des Moines metro area that's possible to hit.
Absolutely. And I've run for office several times before.
You've run for office several times before. So talk about this particular election and why you're running this time.
Yes. They asked me that question a lot, and I said, I'm running for this office to save America. I said, and they go, what are some of your platforms, Joe? What's your main thing? I says, I'm here to tell the truth. What a novel idea. Someone that runs for office is going to tell the truth. And I says, and that's the least you can do is tell the truth. Mm-hmm. And that's all the people expect of you when you're making decisions upon the rest of the country, and especially Iowa and House District 3. It's not easy to run for office, and I had the courage to go up against a 20-year incumbent, and then he decided to call her quits. And I'm the only candidate that challenged him.
Yeah, you announced because Tom initially I believe announced that he's going to run for re-election,
and then I think he took a ton of heat for the budget ceiling increase.
Oh, he certainly did.
Yeah, I mean, I was on here talking about it, and you even said, well, you can't call yourself a conservative if you're voting for these kind of issues.
Well, I don't know about that.
I simplified
it. Lots and lots of conservatives voted for it, so I think that they would all disagree with you.
Well, they may, but true conservatives like me.
Yeah.
Fiscally, anyway. So anyway, we're coming up on a break. We're with special guest Joe Grandanette, candidate for Iowa's 3rd Congressional District. We are happy to have him on the show. Right after we get back from the break, we'll talk about how you can get in contact with him and find out more about Joe and what his stances are. You're listening to Doc N Lefty on webcast1live.com every Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and our website is finally operational, docandlefty.com. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Be back right after the break.
Petrosh and Associates, how can I help you?
Petrosh and Associates will provide you with a friendly, caring, and confidential place to find help for mental health concerns. We are ready for your call. Our doctor, Dr. J. Patrick Petrosh, provides a full range of psychiatric services for children, adolescents, and adults in a forthright and informative manner while maintaining a casual, comfortable, and relaxed atmosphere.
All across America, there are countless numbers of people struggling with addiction and other life-controlling issues. Probably someone you know and love. There is a way out. There is hope. Transformations Treatment Center in Delray Beach, Florida, has a unique approach to substance abuse treatment. Call now and ask about our Guaranteed Success program or log on to transformationstreatment.com. Transformations. Change your life. Change your relationships. Transform your world.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Doc N Lefty here on webcast1live.com. Certainly want to thank our sponsors and our special guest here, Joe Grandanette, running for the 3rd Congressional District in the great state of Iowa. That's our district, folks. If you're listening in the local area, we are broadcasting
Polk,
straight
Jasper, Warren,
from the heart of the 3rd Congressional District. I keep trying to say judicial, and it's different because we're in the 5th Judicial District, the 3rd Congressional District. I happen to deal with judges a lot more often than I deal with Congress people or even candidates running for Congress, and so we're very pleased to have Joe here. I know that Pat is itching to ask you some more of the substantive questions about your campaign, and take it away.
Now, did you struggle getting signatures? Because I know when I ran, that was the toughest part of running. You got all your signatures together and you got them turned in and all that?
Yeah, I got all my signatures turned in. I'll tell you how I did it.
Yeah.
Every night after school, I went out and walked around the city of Des Moines, and I had help in Des Moines, Iowa.
Do a lot of knocking on doors and all that?
Then I went to and then on the weekends, I went to every county in southwest Iowa myself and walked up and down streets, businesses all over, introduced myself, and got signatures. I did it myself. I worked hard at doing it. I got help in Polk County in Des Moines, but it was mainly me. I thought it was important enough for me that was running for office. They see the candidate, and I didn't send out a surrogate to Southwest Iowa. I touched base in every county every county I walked and talked, and I think I had over 2,400 signatures. I needed 1,867 signatures, and I think I was the first candidate. I don't know for sure, but I think I was the first candidate to put my papers in because I put them in a week before the time that was due, which was the 14th. So
you had them in on the 7th then?
Yes.
You had all your ducks in a row and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I took them in on Thursday after school. Then on Friday, they emailed me and said everything would look good, Joe, and so you're certified to be on the ballot. And you know what? I had a lot of great friends and family members get signatures for me in Polk County, and they were happy to do it for me, and they wanted to get me on the ballot. Former, friends of mine and people that when I'd run before, they still believe in me and they wanted to do something for me. What can I do? Because when I announced, they told me, "What can I do for you, Joe?" I says, "I don't have a lot of money, but I can sure help in any way." I says, "Well, let's get some signatures for me. Would you do that for me?" And they took them around to their neighborhood associations. They took them to their churches. They took them to their organizations, wherever they went, and they helped me out. And I had over 35 people to help me get signatures, and it was an honor.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so. It was an honor to have them as friends, and I take my friendships serious, and they really helped me out, and it's to their credit that I got on the ballot, because without them would have been more difficult for myself. But.
Absolutely. So with Joe Grandanette, he's a congressional candidate for Iowa's 3rd district. What do you see the focus of your campaign being? I mean, what are you going to focus on with your campaign? What's the message?
Well, I want people to know that I speak the truth, and I cannot be bought and sold, and I think that's all people want in a candidate. Yeah. I says, of course, it's going to be a learning curve when I get into office if I'm fortunate enough to win. But as far as the different subjects and so forth, but all people want to know is the truth. That's all they want to know, and they are mad at the federal government right now. They have had it. I can tell you that right now. I stomped around all Southwest Iowa, and any place I have gone and introduced myself and handed in my card. The people are very upset the way the federal government has been run, and they want it to stop, and they want it to stop now, and they want to know if you're just going to tell the truth and do your job that if you get voted in, and that's my answer is yes, because they'll be able to trust me and believe in me and believe me what I'm all about, because that's the man I am. So.
Right. So what was the number one issue the people you ran into? What was their main passion? What was their issue that they really wanted to talk to you about?
Well, the Affordable Care Act, especially in the smaller communities, I talked to so many people. Pharmacists are really complaining because of the payback and so forth, and they're not getting the amount of money that they need just to run, especially the independent pharmacies. And you talk about small businesses, man, and the premiums have gone up and the deductibles gone up, and it's just they don't know what to do. And
so the business people down there were talking about what you would do if you were in Congress, how you would help them get around the ACA. So I guess what would your solution to the ACA be?
Well, not being there, but you got to look at the bill. We got to start all over. We got to defund it, and we got to repeal it, and we got to get the people to do that. And my answer was, if we can't do it, then you vote them all out of office. Every Democrat, every Republican should be primaried. I says, and until we get the people in there, they're going to do the job. And if it takes people like myself to primary an incumbent like I did for 20 years, that's the start. That's the start. That's where it happens, right there. Because if I don't primary Mr. Latham, he's still running, and no one's challenged him.
Now you do know that the Republicans, I think, how many attempts they up to 50 attempts at trying to repeal Obamacare, and yet they wind up failing. I mean, basically, it's our own party, our own Republican Party hamstrings us. And the one time we got it to the Senate, Ted Cruz was essentially forced to back down by Mitch McConnell and his
boys.
So how do you think you're going to be able to help in that situation? How are you going to get these people to get together and go, listen, this is killing America. It's killing jobs. It's killing free enterprise. How are you going to do that?
Do exactly what I did. Primary everybody.
That's what you would tell you if you made it to the Congress. You'd be one of the section goes. Listen, those people that voted for the ACA and is blocking repeal of it. You'd say we need to primary those people.
We need to start all over in this country. We're in a crisis in this country. We're in a crisis in this country, and people are upset. They are very upset, and I show a lot of passion running for office. And the people want someone that is willing to step up and do the job. And if these people that are in office right now are not going to do the job and not going to represent the people for all the right reasons, then they need to be primaried and they need to be voted out of office. And if I can do it, then everybody else should be able to do it all around the country. And I'd be the first one to help them out. All
right. So what are you going to do to try to overcome the enormous advantage? Let's say you win the primary. What are you going to do to overcome Bruce Braley's fundraising advantage? Because what is he at? 2.5 million.
Yeah, he's running the Senate.
That's Stacey Apple.
Stacey Apple.
She's the front. She hasn't won the primary.
Well,
either,
she hasn't been primary. She has no opponents right now. So I don't think anybody's going to challenge her.
Not anybody that is getting the
sexy
look. I guess
we don't know. We don't know. But I don't know if anybody did get the papers out to be a candidate against her. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, we're going to take another break. So much for me being on the ball this afternoon. I already said Bruce Braley's running for Congress. So
in Des Moines even.
So I apologize to my listeners for, I don't know what. So anyway, we're going to be back right after the break. You're listening to Doc and Lefty on webcast1live.com. We're with Joe Grandanette, congressional candidate for Iowa's 3rd District. You can catch us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website's operational at docnlefty.com. Hope to see everybody there. We'll be back right after the break.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Get away from my Sumino credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit! You're our hero!
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Doc and Lefty program. We're here breezing through our hour with congressional candidate Joe Grandanette. He's running in the Republican primary to potentially replace former Congressman Tom Latham, who retired late last year from public office, and Mr. Grandanette was a ready primary challenger. I believe you ran in 2004.
Yes.
And you got the nomination, ran up against our good friend Uncle
Norm,
Uncle Boswell, correct?
No.
Back in 2004?
No, I ran for state rep.
For state. I'm sorry. I thought you ran for Congress back then.
No, state rep.
Okay.
I ran against. We had a primary, Norm Pavlovsky, and I beat him in the primary. Then I ran against Joe Olson in the general election, and that was Vilsack's right-hand woman, and I lost her in the general.
Well, I apologize for that. I misread the bio. Now, the first thing we're talking about the ACA and how it needs to be repealed. I don't know, did you mention if it repealed and replaced? But there have been a lot of folks that have come out saying that the Affordable Care Act has helped them in these first few months. What would you say to somebody who's sitting across the table from you who said the Affordable Care Act has helped me get insurance for the first time in my life, and if you take that away, you're going to take my insurance away?
Well, I'm sure there are just some cases that the Affordable Care Act has helped people, but for the most part, it hasn't done. It's not done what it's supposed to be. It's cost more, and deductibles are more, the premiums are more, and people are hurting out there because of it. I'm sure it's helped some people. Well, but we had a decent system. Why overhaul the whole system? Just
37th in the world.
Well, it was a decent system. Well. Listen, everybody.
See previous shows for me debunking that myth.
That's
okay. Fair enough. Whatever.
People come from all over the world to come here to have surgeries, and there's other reasons why we aren't the best in the world. But those are just different things because we don't follow up with our surgeries and so forth in our care for our people. But there are things with the Affordable Care Act that possibly that they're okay. 26 years old, you could stay on your insurance, but they still could have stayed on their parents' insurance. There was nothing. That's not nothing new. And
well, no, I got kicked off my parents' insurance.
Yes, but your parents could have continued on. It's not that they couldn't have, but now they.
No, they couldn't. Once I got to be, I believe, once I graduated from college when I was 22 years old, back in 2004. My parents' insurance policy said we're no longer covering him because he's no longer a dependent. It's a different system.
But they could have given you the money to get out.
They could have.
I see.
They could have done that.
Borrowed from your parents.
Yeah,
that worked out well in 2012, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
borrow from your folks.
No.
Isn't that what your candidate said?
Well, and that's what people used to do. I mean, that's the honest. I mean, how much government do you want in your life? I mean, and that's the basic issue. You know, I mean,
buying
health
insurance from private insurance companies is such a government takeover of healthcare. Now, let me ask you this, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you don't mind. Because I mean, you're hearing stories from both sides, so I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of anecdotal. I'm just asking the question of what you'd think about it. And you sound like you're more along the lines of what a lot of Republicans have said is that, hey, look, we like these certain pieces of it, but the overarching structure is flawed. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah. Yes. And you know, in 2007, I was a Polk County chair for Governor Tommy Thompson. He was the Health and Human Services for the President Bush, and I listened to his speeches.
Tommy Thompson,
Governor Tommy Thompson.
Colorado?
No,
Wisconsin. That's right, Wisconsin.
And he ran for president. I was his Polk County chair, and what he said, and I listened to his speeches for 6 months. And I took him all around to the different sites here in Polk County, and he gave his speeches. But he said, let's get these people that are not insured, and let's have these insurance company go after them, and find a premium that they can afford. And he says, instead of overall the whole system, get the insurance companies to insure them, battle it out, go from state to state across the lines, and these people will have insurance. Instead of overhauling the whole system, let's just do that part of it. And that was his answer to it, and that's my answer too, that we didn't have to overhaul the whole system just for the amount of the few. And they said maybe 40 million people don't have insurance. Well, that number can be debated too. Who came up with the 40 million? I don't know. It just all of a sudden came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and then
it's the same people that say there's 25 million illegal aliens here that we need to pay for.
But we didn't need to overhaul the whole system, because what has happened is it's put the heartaches on the American people. I will tell you, you go out and knock on people's doors, and they want to talk about their health care. It is very sad because they don't know where they're going to come up with the money. And, of course, the people in business, they don't know what they're going to do with their employees. And they have to make a decision here in about a month or two on if they're going to have their insurance for their employees or what they're going to do with their business. And big decisions are going to happen here this summer. And I hate to see what's going to happen this summer because of they have a timeline now.
What do you think of President Obama's strategy of continuing to bump back all these deadlines so that you don't have? So basically, the Democrats don't have to run against horror stories from Obamacare, because that's basically what's kind of been going on. That's my theory. What do you think about that, where President Obama keeps bumping back the deadlines?
Well, he's lied to us. He's lied to us. He knew it. He's a smart man. He's trying to get elected. He tried to get elected, and he got elected because of it. He's trying to get his senators and congressmen to get elected.
So Congressman Joe Wilson was actually telling the truth when he yelled, "Gee, you
Yes.
lie."
And Mr. Obama.
You mean 6 years before he actually said the thing that he supposedly lied about? Okay.
Yes.
At his first State of the Union address?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, and you know,
It's a pretty low bar.
Barack Obama
Well,
lied
he
to
said
us.
it's a low bar, Obama does.
Barack Obama lied to the American people, and now he's caught himself, and of course he doesn't care. And the American people, he wants a one-payer system, Mr. Obama does, and he's getting close to that. And
What's the problem with the one-payer system?
Well-
Wouldn't that kind of help? I mean, because I will tell you, one of the things that people don't understand is, you know, many doctors actually want a one-payer system because, you know, we spend so much money on all this, on one, the government regulations we have to follow, and number two, all the new insurance mandates. So why would a single-payer system not be good for the United States?
well, it's not good for other countries around the world. We've already seen what happens, and so, but we don't have to be one payer system. All we need to do is fix some of the problems we had with our insurance. See, you're being a doctor, Pat. You know that there are things that could have been addressed right now, and that we could have solved the problem. Now we're America. We're the United States of America. You know, we didn't have to change the whole thing. We didn't have to reinvent the wheel. We just the wheel. All we had to do is change a portion of our healthcare system to get the people that were just going to the emergency rooms and getting their health care. We could have got all those people that go to the emergency rooms and put them in a pool with people and had the insurance companies go after them and have them come up with a nominal fee for a health insurance policy so they could get health care on a regular basis, so they just keep them from going to the emergency room. That's what this is all about. They don't want people to go to the emergency rooms. And also, we never turned anybody down here at hospitals. We never turned anybody down for being treated. So that's a fallacy that some people weren't getting anything. If you showed up at the emergency room, you had to be treated. So that's a false statement that they kept saying. And so what we needed to do is just ensure the people that didn't have insurance and find a way for them so they can afford a premium so they can go to a doctor on a regular basis.
We're here with Joe Grandanette, Iowa's 3rd Congressional District candidate. We're glad to have him on. Don't forget to check out Doc N Lefty on Facebook, Twitter, and docandlefty.com. We'll be back right after the break. Listen to us every Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. right here on webcast1live.com. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and thanks to Lefty for restraint. We'll be back right after the break.
Bertroche and Associates will provide you with a friendly, caring, and confidential place to find help for mental health concerns. We are ready for your call. We are proud to work with military personnel and their families. Our doctor, Dr. J. Patrick Bertroche, provides a full range of psychiatric services for children, adolescents, and adults in a forthright and informative manner while maintaining a casual, comfortable, and relaxed atmosphere. Our licensed mental health therapists provide individual counseling to children, adolescents, and adults, including couples and marital counseling. Visit our website at bertrocheandassociates.com for more information or call 515-334-9484. Our offices are located at 5525 Meredith Drive in Des Moines, just east of Skate North off Merle Hay Road. Isn't it time to talk to someone? Take care of yourself and your family. Contact Bertroche and Associates.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around in this first half hour. We certainly do want to thank all of the station sponsors. I want to thank our future and prospective sponsors for this program. We know that you're out there. We know that you're listening. We know that you're dying to spend money to support this show.
We're going to hunt you down.
We're going to find you. We're going to find you, and we're going to convince you that you want to listen to a show, that your customers want to listen to a show that provides different perspectives on the issues of the day. It's not just politics. It's not just social issues. It's also different things that are happening around the world and different events and things that you want to know about. You're getting your news from a lot of different places. We're not necessarily reporting news to you guys, but we're providing you a perspective that sometimes, even though we have a lot of serious stuff that we're talking about, a lot of the times we can agree, and when we disagree, we do it respectfully and without a whole lot of name calling and fighting. We save that for the parking lot.
Yeah, and the brakes.
Yeah, and the brake. That's true. That's true. I got to tell you, one time, a long time ago, I thought you were going to hit me. I really did, because I said some stuff I shouldn't have said.
Was that the military one?
Yeah, I apologized to you. I apologized to you afterwards. I apologized to everybody who heard it, because I said I didn't mean how it came out to sound, right?
Yeah.
But that's what we do here. We get heated, and then we get along.
You can still be friends even if you disagree
on just about everything.
About everything.
And if you want to see some of these discussions take place in real time, go to our Facebook page, go to our Twitter account, and go to the website, docandlefty.com. I promise, folks, for all of you right-wing people that really want to just hate blog me, I will post an article for you very soon that you can spit all kinds of comments afterwards, and I will read every single one of them, and I will stew about them over the weekend. So I'll put something up for you that you guys will just absolutely love.
That will be the best part, because I promise, if you do that, he will call me crying. Those people don't like me.
I know. I've got a as a friend of mine told me a long time ago, I got a pathological need to be liked. I got a pathological need to be liked by liberals and conservatives, and it doesn't really work that well for me.
No, it doesn't.
But anyway, I'm sorry, but I had to get that out of get that off my chest. We're sitting here with Joe Grandanette, who's been very gracious.
Hey, I like you.
Well, thank you, Joe. I like you too. Can I call you Mr. G?
Oh my God!
See, we just had a connection.
You know what?
We're gonna have to start
you
talking.
Might find one thing.
Marriage.
I might find one thing that I like about you, and you might find one thing you like about me.
And that is
if
the name of the
you
game.
find just one thing to like about Blake, you are half a thing ahead of me.
You've commented on my hair.
A half a like?
Several
How about
times.
a half a like?
Several times. You said that my hair is luxuriant.
I wish
and great.
Facebook had half a like out there.
So Joe is running for running the Republican primary for the 3rd Congressional District here in Des Moines and the Southwest Iowa. Now, how far east of Des Moines and south does the district go? For those people that don't know,
Polk County all the way down, all the way to Southwest Iowa, Pottawatomie County west, and then all of Southwest Iowa, Mills, Montgomery, Union, and then it goes back up, and it takes Dallas, Madison County, Warren County, Polk County, Guthrie County, and then Union County, and all the way west. It's 16 counties.
Sure, it doesn't get east of Polk County, though. It doesn't get to Jasper, does it?
No,
Jasper is Lopesack's territory, I think.
Yeah, not Jasper. No,
sure.
No,
so,
16 counties.
Now, and that's a pretty favorable Southwest quarter for Republicans.
Oh, absolutely.
The western side of the state is
they
Republican
like
Central.
Republicans. Absolutely.
Yep.
It was fun to talk to all the nice people in Southwest Iowa. They're very engaging, very sincere people. It was an honor just to be go talk to the people, because they're just down to earth and good people, and I connected with them, and I campaigned, and so it wasn't like I sent a surrogate there. They met the candidates, so they know me. Everybody in Southwest Iowa knows me, because I went to every bar and restaurant, every business, every town square, and every mall, every side street.
You know, I got to tell you, I used to do roofing when I was in college, and I worked a lot in that quarter, that Southwest Iowa, Northwest, from South Dakota to Kansas City, up and down I-29. In that direction, and I got to say that there's some good people down there. There's some good places to meet a lot of decent folks. Is this the first time you've run in the 3rd now that it's been reconstituted?
Yes.
How do you expect the reconstitution of the 3rd district to affect how you approach the constituents, or does that matter to you at all? It's a lot more liberal than it used to be. Well, actually, it's a lot more mixed than it used to be, but including Story County and Polk County in the
it doesn't include Story.
The 3rd.
No,
the district doesn't include Story anymore.
Not Story.
Oh, that's 4th. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Steve Kingsville
that's the
district.
second blown call in this show.
That's okay.
Jeez, we got to get our.
used-
And we just got a compliment that said we're getting more polished.
Well, you know,
Oh my God.
these are the things. You know,
I help you out. I'm a teacher.
One step forward, 2 steps back. But so it's a lot different than it used to be.
Right.
It got a bunch of stuff from the old 5. So has that influenced how you're approaching your run?
Well,
or
I've run for office before, so Polk County supervisor and state rep, and so everybody in Polk County knows me for different reasons, and they know me the person, not the candidate necessarily, but me the person with everything I've done and my family and who I am, and they know me as the candidate too. Southwest Iowa, nobody knew me,
right.
and so I had to introduce Joe Grandanette, the candidate, but in Des Moines, Iowa. in Des Moines and Polk County, everyone knows me as a teacher for 26 years, as a coach. I've coached baseball, basketball all my life. I've been a referee and an umpire all my life. And I had my store in Clive, Iowa for 14 years, and running for office before. So a lot of people know me. They know Joe Grandanette, the man, and Joe Grandanette, the candidate. So, my introduction to people is if they know of me, and then I just have to introduce me, and then didn't you do, and so forth and so on. I says, yes, I did, and then and so forth, and then we engaged in the politics, and they'll ask me a question and so forth and so on. So I don't change my politics and what I talk about, whether it be in Des Moines or Polk County or Warren County or anything in Southwest Iowa.
So let me ask you this: you when we're getting to know each other a little bit before the show, you talked about that you were at the homeschool convention today.
Yes, sir.
And that Ted Cruz is there.
Yes.
The Texas senator who has made a name for himself.
Absolutely.
Sort of up and down at this point. He's done a lot of different kinds of things that got a lot of press. He's got a lot of negative press on the right. And of course the left, we don't care, right? So you were you impressed with him?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I've included Ted Cruz's name in my stump speeches. And I did today too.
And so he presents I want to talk a little bit about foreign policy, if you don't mind. He presents a slightly different foreign policy than the other sort of nominal front runner in the Republican Party, Rand Paul. Right. Rand Paul is kind of your traditional isolationist, and Ted Cruz is not as much. Where do you stand on some of those issues?
Well, Mr. Paul, we cannot be hands off in the world. We're the greatest country. Well, we keep the world safe. We keep the world safe. We always have. And people look up to us to keep the world safe. And we cannot have another Germany set forth in this country. And if we have to have a strong military. And that doesn't mean we go around forcing our way around the world, but if we are strong and we stand tall and we speak the truth, I says people will respect us. And people will be leery of us if they do things they're not supposed to. That interferes with our welfare, our sovereignty in this country. And our country has to be safe. And so in turn, being a strong nation, militaristically, I says, it shows to the rest of the world that the United States will be there if they need to be.
See, I brought that up because I wanted to kick it back over to you since you're the foreign policy guru.
We'll be right back right after the break. We're with Joe Grandanette, Iowa's 3rd Congressional District candidate. We want to thank him for being on the show. We're really appreciative that he took his time out of his busy schedule to show up. We'll be back right after the break. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and go visit our website, Doc N Lefty. I think we have all of our shows on YouTube, and this is an easy link right there to it. You listen to us every Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. We'll be back right after the break. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
All across America, there are countless numbers of people struggling with addiction and other life-controlling issues. Probably someone you know and love. There is a way out. There is hope. Transformations Treatment Center in Delray Beach, Florida, has a unique approach to substance abuse treatment. Call now and ask about our Guaranteed Success program or log on to transformationstreatment.com. Transformations. Change your life. Change your relationships. Transform your world.
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and beyond, everyone needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Hey, thanks for coming back, everybody. We're here with our guest, Joe Grandanette. And before the break, I posed a foreign policy-ish type question to Mr. Brent Grandanette, and I gotta turn it over to my main man over here because this is the if ever there was a big, gigantic, classic Republican boot It belongs on Pat Petrosh. So Doc, I want you to kind of engage Joe here on some of the foreign policy stuff that I know is on your mind, because I think that he's a good guy to talk to about it.
Oh yeah, and the truth of the matter is we live in such a complicated world. There's no way ever to be able to answer a simple question such as, what do you think about Venezuela? What do you think about NAFTA? I mean, the complications that go into this and all the maneuvering that occurs on the world stage, it's impossible to answer in just a soundbite. However, I'm going to make Joe do exactly that. All right, I'm going to ask him some questions, and he's going to give me a 2-second answer.
I refrain
to
to
a
use
4-hour lecture. Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, the latest thing that's been going on is Ukraine. All right. And there's all kinds of things going on. My friends over in Ukraine have just informed me this weekend that Russian troops without their insignia are going to Donetsk and Kharkov, which is in the eastern part of Ukraine. And the thing is Lefty keeps talking about, first he did not declared that Russia was not resurgent. Now he's like, oh, well, it's just Ukraine and Crimea. So, and I've oversimplified what he said by a long ways because he's over there chomping at the bit.
Yeah, he did.
So
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
That's all right for now, because we're talking about Joe Grandanette.
Yeah.
By the way, you have a Facebook, right?
Yes, sir.
Would you just go to Joe Grandanette?
Yeah, Facebook. That's
all right. Can we get Joe's name up there so people know how to spell it? So it looks like a good Irish name.
Oh, Grandanette.
Yeah, Grandanette.
Grandanette. I walked in the St. Patty's Day parade.
All right. So my question is, the headline on Fox News was outplayed with a question mark. Did Putin outplay Obama in Ukraine? What's your feeling about that? Did Putin very nicely maneuver Obama into a position where he looked weak, or do you think?
Well, Mr. Obama set him up. He had a mic on him, and he says, "Well, wait till I get elected, and then things will be different."
Well, that's true.
And so this is what's going to be different. Obama decided, hands off, do whatever you want. And now, thinking that Mr. Putin wouldn't do anything, he would not do this. Well, Mr. Putin wants to do whatever he wants to do, and now we're in a position of defense and not offense, and so we can't do anything. And so there's nothing we can do. It says, and if that government, the people voted for it yesterday, they want to be a part of Russia, I says, so be it. Until it affects the United States, then we'll just let it go. We'll just let it go as is. There's nothing we can do,
All right. So the Ukraine this morning, and I'm sure you were busy. I mean, you went to this thing this afternoon,
right?
And so you might not have heard, but Ukraine has asked for military aid. If you were in Congress, would you vote to give Ukraine American military aid?
What we could do, to answer your question, I don't know that. I'd have to know all the variables. And you get in office, you have to know everything that's going on over there. But I will tell you, because we put ourselves in this kind of a position, if we came out as strong when they first met as the president of the United States, Mr. Obama, you make one move, it's not going to be another move. But we're in a position right now that we can't do anything.
Yeah.
And so, because of what's transpired with Mr. Obama's history of what he's been doing all around the world, we're not the great leaders around the world, and people are taking us lightly now. So
okay, and now we're with Joe Grandanette, 3rd Congressional District candidate for Iowa. We're grateful to have him on the show. Do you think that Obama's reset, quote unquote, with the Russians has been successful to this point?
Has it been successful? No.
All right.
Because Mr. Putin is going to continue on. And we don't know his intentions, but the next step is the rest of the Ukraine. And so we'll see, though. But there's nothing we can do at this point unless he starts slaughtering the rest of some other countries. I mean, killing people off. We've had other countries in the past history do things like that. But right now, there's nothing we can do. Let them decide what's going on over there. Of course, Ukraine wants us to help out, and we're the only country they can help out. But we'll just see what happens. unless Mr. Putin starts slaughtering some of the people, then we just have to take a step back and watch.
All right. Now, there's a couple of other places in the world that are really on fire. Thailand's one of them, although so far it's been much more peaceful than anything else since the Arab Spring. And Venezuela. What are your thoughts about helping out in Venezuela down there?
Well, Venezuela has a new president, and they're trying to figure out if he's going to represent the people or not. And it's you know what, it's all about the oil. And if we wouldn't have to deal with these countries if we could just have develop all our own oil resources in this country, all sources of energy in this country, and all this we wouldn't have to deal with, whether it be Russia, the Middle East, Venezuela, South America. It's all about the energy, and we could be energy efficient if we would develop our own, and we wouldn't have to be involved in anybody else's business. But because we deal with all these other countries and about oil and all the fossil fuels that go along in these different countries, we just have to watch and just keep our eyes open and our heads up and make sure that they don't interfere with ruining our country. And if that would happen, then military action would have to take place.
You know what I find fascinating about that, just to jump in about the Venezuela issues, you hear a lot of interviews, a lot of the people that are out on the streets protesting. And they say, at the same time, they seem to hold two conflicting thoughts in their head. They say, Nicolas Maduro's government is bankrupting the country, but we want to preserve the Bolivarian Chavez revolution.
Right.
And Nicolas Maduro was the hand-picked successor to to Hugo Chavez and the Bolivarian revolution. And you wonder to yourself, now, without getting into a long protracted discussion about the ills of socialism or its benefits or whatever, is how can folks be at the same time dissatisfied, and it plays to this country a little bit too, both dissatisfied with the government but still satisfied or desirous of the services the government wants to provide. You see that in this country. You see a lot of people angry about the government but don't do anything to the services. And I'm wondering how that mentality plays itself out.
Well,
that's just an open that's an observation that I had.
That's a great observation. Why don't we have Joe answer that when we get back? Think of a good question so they could come up, because this is like Jeopardy,
Oh, for sure.
So,
Double Jeopardy.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors. That's basically Lubinas Law Firm and Bertroshan Associates. And I'd also like to have everybody go out to yhma.org. It's a fantastic opportunity to help young wayward men. We want to thank Joe Grandanette for being here with us tonight. We always appreciate his time. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and our website, docandlefty.com. We'll be back right after the break. You're listening to us every Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. on webcast1live.com. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Hey, psst. Let me let you in on a little secret. You ready? Always try to do business with people, not places. Especially if you seek honest Christian business people. And when it comes to my car, I really need to trust who's working on it. Now, my family is so blessed. A few years ago, we found a family-owned automobile repair shop that operates as a Christian business also. Open, honest, reliable, trustworthy. It's AMCO on Hickman Road in front of Kmart, and it's a family-owned Christian operating business. This family treats your car as if it was their car. Everything from oil changes to transmission repair and everything in between. So the next time you feel the need to be at peace with your choice of who you can trust with your car, give AMCO on Hickman a chance to serve you. And tell them Max sent.
Back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We're here in our last segment with Joe Grandanette running in the Republican primary for the 3rd Congressional District here in that encompasses Polk County, Warren County, and all points to the southwest in this state. And before the break, we're talking about some of the foreign hot spots, and I had mentioned that I thought it was interesting that folks in Venezuela seem to they don't like their current government, but they don't want the socialist revolution necessarily. Some do. There is opposition out there, but by and large, they don't seem to want the socialist revolution that that Hugo Chavez kind of brought into being to be toppled in these protests. And I was wondering if there's any comparison to how it seems like there are folks that are dissatisfied with our government as a whole, but don't want the services to stop. They say, "Hey, we hate all the money you guys spend, but don't cut Social Security, for crying out loud." And I wonder what you thought about that.
Well, like what I was saying in the break, I says, well, all these foreign countries are socialist countries.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they have had for years and years and generation after generation. We are a republic in the United States of America, and that sets us apart. And so we've done things differently the last 270 years or so. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it sets us apart from the rest of the world. We're not a socialist country, and nor do we want to be, and that sets us apart from everybody else. And the rest of the world, for the most part, not all the countries, some of the European countries are not, but they want their cake and eat it too. Mm-hmm. And you can't have it both ways. And so they're upset with their person that runs the country, but they still want the services. You're right. And so, but they just have to grin and bear it because this is a socialist country. Mm-hmm. They see the United States of America. We are capitalism. Their countries are socialist. We are a republic. They are socialist. There's a big difference. And so in turn, that makes us look better, and they're thinking that they could be like us, but they can't. They got to give up all the goodies. Mm-hmm. But that's a socialism. You don't give up all the goodies, and so that's what sets us apart from the rest of the world. And I don't know if I answered the question the way you wanted me to.
No, I just.
Well, no, I mean, there's no wrong way to answer questions.
Okay.
What you believe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
It's just, I guess I look at, in this country, we've had, say, let's say Social Security, for example.
Right.
We've had Social Security for 70 years.
Absolutely.
And that, for all intents and purposes, is a socialist type program. It's the government providing benefits upon a certain group of people by way of taxes paid by folks that don't receive that benefit. And every time there is any hint at reforming Social Security or taking or cutting back on benefits or doing anything of that nature, you hear the hue and cry of the folks that are getting the benefit.
Right.
And those also seem to be a lot of the same folks that vote for politicians who run on a platform of cutting back on Social Security. And to me, that feels like a disconnect. And I wonder, would you be able to bring some clarity of vision to office with your candidacy in kind of, hey, and being honest with people, saying, if your belief was we're going to cut these kinds of programs, we're just going to do it, and that's what we're going to do, or are you going to try and work out a more creative model of I
understand what you're saying.
but
here's what we're talking about: Social Security here. So
as an example,
absolutely. Well, we should keep that money in its own pot. We're taking that money and paying the rest of the bills with it, and people are upset, and they want to cut it back. No, let's not cut it back for the people that have it in there. Let's start some private accounts. And I helped Steve Forbes in 1999 run for president. This was his big deal, flat tax. I want to tell you something. And he said about the age of 37, anybody that wants to continue on with the system, but anybody that wants to do it different, they have an option. Go with the old system or start something new, and you have your own money. We can't go on, continue the way we're doing it. We can't do it. It doesn't work. And we should not be taking the money out of Social Security that we use and then pay our other bills, and then it bankrupts the Social Security system. Social Security was never intended to pay your bills. It was just a little supplement to keep you afloat when you got to retirement age. And a lot of people rely on that. And so, why are we spending the money that should be in the Social Security pot? Why are we? That's wrong. And we should change the system. Change the system so it works. We're smarter than that. We're better than that. Let's change how our tax structure works so that you'd have this money at the end of your career and your working life, and not coming from Social Security if you didn't want that option, or you could have it in in your own retirement account. That's the answer. But we got to get people that want to do that. And the only way you do it is get rid of the people that are in office, vote them out, and somebody's going to stand up, whether it be the leadership in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, vote them all out of office so that we can get things done.
I just want to read a little something about basically separating socialists, communists, Democrats, and Republicans. Just for a brief moment, because you kind of asked Joe, well, how do you separate all that out? That's what I took from it. Socialists, you have 2 cows, government takes one and gives it to your neighbor who has no idea of how to feed a cow or how to raise a cow, and it dies. Then when you get a second cow, they give it back to the same neighbor. A Democrat, you have 2 cows, your neighbor has none. You feel guilty for being successful. You vote people into office who tax your cows, forcing you to sell one to raise money to pay the tax. People you voted for then take the tax money and buy a cow and give it to your neighbor, and you feel righteous. A communist, you have 2 cows, the government seizes both and provides you with a cup of milk a day. Republican, you have 2 cows. You sell one, buy a bull, build a herd of cows so everybody has milk. That's just pretty much it.
Wow.
That's just pretty much how it works. That's how it works.
Wow.
There you go.
Or you know,
good.
but then you look at your neighbor and you say, you don't have any cows? Well, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, because I started with 2 cows. And am I going to lend you a bull to start your own herd? No, because you don't have cows to begin
No, but
with.
I'd be willing to sell you the sperm.
That's exactly what the Republicans would say.
Yeah,
so
well,
I'm,
that's
but
what
know
builds
what?
a great country.
I'm sure
That's
that
what builds a great country.
I'm sure
not
that
just
you
giving
left.
people
I'm
away.
sure that you left that part about self-righteous possession off of that little quote you just read. I'm pretty sure that you did, because I knew you
don't
wouldn't
want
be
anybody
so.
to have
I'm sure you wouldn't be so dishonest.
Give everybody's stuff away.
You wouldn't be
to
so
everyone
dishonest
else. You know
as
what?
to read
We have
something
a
like
guest
that.
Today. This is not how you behave in front of a guest.
I like
Did
this.
your mom raise you better
This is
than
exactly
that?
how you behave.
No, I'm telling you. We want to thank Joe Grandanette for showing up.
This is good.
tonight.
I like
He's running
this.
for Iowa's 3rd Congressional District. I'm really surprised we kept the lid on it that long.
Hey, you know what, Joe?
Because and I will tell you, I really thought you were going to bust loose earlier. So we want to thank Joe Grandanette for being on the show. Look him up on his Facebook page. He's going to have a website coming up here pretty soon. You have to get your ducks in a row. He is a truthful man. I have known him for quite a few years now. In fact, I know some of his family, and I think he's an upstanding guy who would make an excellent representative. Joe, you have anything to say before we sign off?
No, it's an honor to be on your show. I'm glad that I'm very happy that I'm here. You guys are outstanding citizens to do your civic duty here and talk about the issues on your show. It's another format that the candidates can get out on, and then of course getting my name out there to all your 20 million listeners. And so I appreciate you.
I did lie to him a little.
Hey, no, Joe, we really enjoyed having you, man, and good luck on the campaign trail. And you are welcome back here anytime.
Okay, thank you very
Anytime
much.
you wanna come
Thanks,
back.
guys. Thanks a lot. This has been fun.
We want to thank all of our sponsors that keep the lights on here for us, Lubian's Law Firm, Bertrosian Associates. Want to thank our social media stud, Roxy, and we want to thank our producer stud, Frank. And I want to thank everybody for that. You doing anything this week?
Yeah, I'm playing a gig on Saturday at Ducktail and Clive.
All right, send me a text. I'll go to that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, if you haven't heard him sing, he's really, not that awful.
I know.
So,
I know.
it's amazing.
It makes you forget about all the bad stuff.
If we get you and Roxy together, she can sing.
I feel like that might be too much liberalism for one gig that you might attend.
You know what? I grew up in Warren County, seat of Tom Harkin. I am used to being the lone conservative.
Yeah.
All right?
Well, anyway,
so I can handle that.
Folks, check us out on Facebook and Twitter, our website, DocNLefty.com. If you feel like you know somebody that wants to sponsor the show, or you want to sponsor the show yourself, or contribute so that we can keep bringing the issues to you every 6:30 to 7:30 every Tuesday night here at webcast1live.com. We sure would appreciate it. Get in touch with us through the website or Facebook. Doc, got anything left?
Yeah. I think if I go to this thing this Saturday, I think I can handle a pacifist and a tiny girl. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
I'm just saying.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Tuning in.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Shaw, and I love these guys. Both of them.
Love these guys. Get over here. Love both of them.